Are you tired of inconsistent income as a freelance filmmaker or creative? I know, I've been there. So today I'm going to show you guys how to create monthly recurring revenue using the content automation engine that I created. So it is possible to accomplish this as a freelance creative. You just have to have a system. And if you don't have a system, then you're just reacting. Over the last 2 years, I've been able to follow this system and it's worked really well to the point where my day-to-day operations for the business, I'm barely touching any of the work. My name is Matt Maniego. I've been creating content since 2010, been doing this professionally for a very long time. I work with some of the world's largest sports brands and I've got a few awards to show for it. Over the last 2 years, I've developed a system for people just like you who are worried about not having consistent income. This system will help unlock that time. But before we get into that, I wanted to tell you how I got into this. 2 years ago, we had our second child and I wanted to create an income stream that didn't take me away from being with my family. And I thought that that path was through YouTube. I actually created a faceless channel which didn't do very well. So after I started seeing that this YouTube channel was not succeeding, sometimes you have to cut your losses, right? So what I did was I took everything that I learned from starting that YouTube channel and I applied it to my current clientele. The clients that I had would only reach out to me during seasonal periods. So here's the system in a nutshell. I built a team that was very good at editing videos. They understood any concept pretty much that I threw at them, and they executed this at a very affordable price. Whatever it might be. It could be talking head, it could be wedding videos or highlight reels or sizzle reels. It could be a recap of a video that's like under a minute, or it could be interviews with, like a mini documentary, whatever it might be. If it's a music video, that's probably going to be priced a little bit higher. But for us, a lot of our content was talking head with B-roll and things of that nature. What I used to charge my clients for video edits, and this is me editing. I would charge minimum of $1,200 per video. For any shorts, it would be between $600 to $800 a video. But those jobs didn't come often. So I put 2 and 2 together. I said, like, look, if I can get these videos done for this very low cost, I can cut my rates with my current clients, but have them hire me consistently to do it. So I offered to cut my rates, but what I asked them was for a minimum spend every month. And that minimum spend was $2,500. And so the first proposal that I sent out like this, the client agreed to 5 videos a month initially at $500 each. So that was the start of this whole thing. And those 5 videos slowly crept up to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. At its peak during the season, we'll probably pump out like 15 per month. So their minimum spend went from $2,500 up to $7,500 because we were able to create this content consistently at a really good rate, and my team was able to cut it fast. When that worked for that one client, I took the same product and I offered it again to another existing client. After having 3 established clients that took the product offering, I offered it to new clients, and we found a couple YouTube clients that are consistently working with us on a monthly basis who need 8 to 10 videos a month. But each client that I pitched to, I made sure that there was a minimum spend of $2,500 a month and then a minimum commitment of 3 months. Now you want to do this because you want to establish consistency. Consistency for income, consistency for your team, for workflow, and then consistency for your client who needs this content consistently. So I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, oh, Matt's probably outsourcing this. And yes, I am. But the difference is where I'm outsourcing it to matters. Initially, when I first started looking for video editors, I was looking on Upwork and then Fiverr, even Craigslist and like Facebook Marketplace, like editors. But every time I worked with someone on those platforms, the work was great, but the communication was inconsistent. And communication is the key to making this system work. So in my search for looking for the right editors, I stumbled upon a website called onlinejobs.ph. It actually works out really well for me because I'm Filipino and I'm able to communicate in our native language, which is Tagalog. The people on this website, 1, know how to speak English. So that's very important. If you're someone like me who speaks English as their primary language. And then number 2, the people on this website, they're pretty much vetted because you have to pay to be on this website. Now this website costs $70 a month, which is not cheap, but also it's affordable in the grand scheme of things. Okay, it's $70 a month, but they're guaranteed that you'll find somebody within that month. And if you don't, then they'll give you your money back. I have actually asked for my money back a couple times and they refunded me without any question. When you're first starting out, you're gonna wanna just start with one. Start with one editor, okay? And it's very, very easy to do. You can actually do this today. I'm gonna show you how to do it. So you're gonna go to this website called onlinejobs.ph. So you're gonna type in video editor here, and then you're gonna hit enter. When you're on this website, what I like to do is I like to sort for people who are last active for a week or less. These are people who are actively looking to get hired. Okay, so I hit refine search results. When you reach out to them, you have a higher likely chance of them replying back pretty quickly. My next tip for this is really look for people who have nice profile photos. In my experience, everyone who put time into creating a nice profile photo more than likely will put time and that attention to detail in the videos that they edit for you, or whatever it might be that they're doing for you, whether it's social media management or graphic design or branding. People who take the time for their profile photos are more than likely to, at least anecdotally in my experience, are more than likely to put that attention to detail in the projects that you give them. So here's a decent photo. This guy's name's Teddy. Here's Zach. He has a nice photo. So you'll click on one, right? And then what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna reach out to them. Now I have a template email built in here, so you hit contact like right here. I'll paste the template message in the description below so that you guys can use it as well. So you type in video editor here for subject, and then basically you just change your name, right? So this guy's name's Teddy. And then you hit send message. That's pretty much it. That's the first step. And then you're gonna repeat this step 4 more times, 5 total. You're gonna reach out to 5 people. Of these 5 people, 2 or 3 will reach back out to you. And of these 2 or 3 people, set up a Zoom meeting. And the one thing, again, I'm gonna go back to this, the one thing that you're gonna emphasize is that you're not looking for a good video editor. You're looking for a really good communicator who knows how to edit videos. Okay, so this establishes that importance to them initially when you're building this relationship. Okay, because this relationship literally is gonna be built on communication. There's no physical contact. You're not gonna go to work. You're not gonna go into an office and see them. You're gonna be communicating with them online. Okay, so this is very, very important as the first thing to establish when you're looking for a remote editor or remote worker. So what you'll do is when you have these meetings with these people, you're gonna wanna give them a test project, right? You're gonna wanna see how they perform. Give them something that's under a minute long and under 100 gigabytes. You don't wanna overwhelm them with like a terabyte's worth of footage and they have to sort through all this stuff. Like, we're not there yet. It's kind of like dating, right? Like, you don't wanna show them that you wanna marry them right away. Like, you don't wanna scare them away. What you want to do is you want to be able to establish like something small and build up to it. And so you'll give them this project, give them a deadline of about 24 to 48 hours, and then you'll pay them $10, like straight up offer them the $10. Even if they say, no, don't worry about it, give them the $10. This is to establish that one, you are serious about what you're doing and you don't want to waste time. Of these 3 people that you've spoken to and you're given the project to, 1 or 2 are going to reply within that time frame. So you picked your one. Okay, so you want to establish rates at this point. I typically have a probation period whenever I hire an editor, and that probation period is 30 days. What I tell them is for anything long form, I pay $25, and for anything short form, I pay $10. That's only for the first month. If they're able to complete that probationary period, and then I pretty much double their rates. So for anything long form, it jumps up to about $45. And then for anything short form, it goes $10 to $25. The probationary period mainly is for you to establish a workflow with them and to see if you can actually work with them. The most difficult part about this is getting in sync with workflow because they are 15 hours ahead. But again, you want to do this slowly. So you want to do small parts first, and then you want to get into full-on projects. For any rush jobs, I actually pay them extra. So if I need something that's done like literally within 12 hours or 24 hours, I will pay them like $100. So once you've got that down and you've been working with this editor for 2 to 3 weeks, you're starting to get a sense of what they can do. Now you can start opening up to creating offerings to your clients. Because you're able to not spend a lot of money to get the videos done, now you can cut your rates with your client, or you could keep the rates that you currently have and then just say, hey, look, I could either create content more consistently, or a combination of I can create content more consistently and do it at a lower rate, but we need a minimum spend every month. And that's how I frame it to my clients. I say minimum spend, so that way it doesn't feel as daunting as it's a retainer. Okay, and again, the language is really important. I tried different ways of doing this, but anytime I call it minimum spend, it's an easier sell. You don't have to start out with what I did. You don't have to do a $2,500 minimum. If you want to, you could start with $1,000. I don't know where you're at in your creative journey, but in my experience, starting small and then building up to it, the likelihood of this succeeding is better if you start small. That's sort of what we're doing here. We want to get them in the door, okay? And it's easier to upsell clients that you already have, because you've established good rapport with them and they trust you. Don't get me wrong, I've gotten no's, even with existing clients, but I've gotten more yeses than no's. And that's okay if they say no, it's totally fine. That's just part of the process. So start with one. All you need to do is start with one. And this is how I built my system to create $25,000 a month in monthly recurring revenue. If you want a step-by-step guide on how to do this, you can download the content automation engine down below. It'll take you through everything that I've created. And I know this video just talks about the first step, but that first step is the hardest step. But the content automation engine goes over the systems that we use, the platforms that we use for project management, the review platforms that we use to review videos. All that information is in the content automation engine below. And so for the first 10 people who purchase the system through this YouTube channel, you'll get an introductory offer. We're probably gonna raise those prices after that threshold is met. Mainly because this is just like, it'll fast forward whatever it is that you need to learn. So it takes the last 2 years of what I've done and compresses it into a PDF that you could probably execute within 1 month. You just have to follow it. Maybe this is the exact thing you need to keep you on your toes, to keep going. But for me, what I ended up finding was that I became the bottleneck to how my business was being run. And I'm sure you guys are feeling the same way. You wouldn't have clicked on this video if you didn't feel that. One of the hardest things to do in this business is to actually let go. I know as a freelance content creator or a filmmaker or even photographer, you always want to be the one that's creating, and you always want to be the one that is in control of how things are shot, how things are edited, even down to where logos are placed or watermarks are placed in your videos. So I get it. I've been there. It wasn't until 2 years ago when I started letting go of some of these responsibilities where I started to see not just my business do well, but also my time started to exponentially grow. I wasn't on the computer every day from like 6 to 8 hours. I was able to manage my client relationships better because I had more time to discuss ideas with them. And the other benefit is I've been able to spend more time with my daughters and my family. And I've also been able to focus on my health as well, like my fitness and being active and all that. So I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking like, Matt, what about AI, right? Like AI is going to take over content creators. Not quite. I've actually been teaching my team how to use AI in their workflows, and it's actually made our workflows way more consistent. So if you want to learn how to leverage AI and this system to your advantage, click on the video that's coming up right now.